Hello and welcome. This is my first actual YouTube video, so I'm pretty excited, and I'm going to be sharing a story time while I get ready because we're going to the thrift shop hunting. I'm actually going to be doing a story time on how I found out I was pregnant with her at 17.
I love her.
We start off with this. I like to do anti-aging sunscreen. 17 when I got pregnant and had my baby girl, my first baby. I am a mother of 3 now and married, but I was 17 living with my grandmother at the time because my grandmother raised you. Mind you, she was religious. She was raised by a Baptist preacher. She's very religious, so yeah. And I was a hellion, straight up, just straight hellion. I'm not even gonna lie, straight hellion. With some primer, but me and my boyfriend at the time, he is very abusive, and he's just not a very good guy at all. He cheated all the time, but anyway. I was leaving him, so I went and got all my stuff. One of my friends had brought me to his house to go get all my stuff. And pulling out of his alley, I was like, you know what, like, I need to get a pregnancy test. I don't know why, I just had a feeling. I was like, I need to get a pregnancy test, just to be sure. So we ran up to the local dollar store that was there, and we grabbed a pregnancy test. We went on back to my house, which was about a 30-minute drive or so. And as soon as we got home, I ran to the bathroom and took it, waited the 3 minutes or whatever, set the timer. Me and my friends was in there. And one of my other friends was also taking a pregnancy test, just basically because I was. She looked at hers first, and she's like, oh, I'm golden, like, I'm good, it's fine, ha ha ha. And then my friend flipped over my test, and it was positive. And she's like, Kylie? And I was like, what? I freaked out because I'm 17 years old. I'm with a guy that is very abusive. He's out of the picture now, and not around, so no worries. I got a great husband now, and he's the father to my children. So yeah, but anyhow, I was just stressing out and freaking out, of course, and I was about to cry, and I was like, you know what, let's go get more. This has to be wrong. Cannot be right. Can't be me. Anyways, it was. We went on to the dollar store in my town and picked up a 2-pack of the clear blue tests. Went up to one of our friends' house and took it, and it came back positive. Like, as soon as it went, it came back positive. So we ran to the mom of the friend's house that we was at, and I was like, oh my God, like, is this really positive? Like, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, confirmed that, yeah. Like, girl, yeah, you can see. Like, you have eyeballs. It's clearly positive. So I sent a picture to my boyfriend at the time, and I was like, we're having a baby. Like, I don't know what to do. And he's like, I'm scared. I'm scared. What do you mean? Anyways, I knew that I was going to have to tell my mama, like, quickly, because I knew I'd have to get into the doctor and whatnot, because I'm not going to lie, I was not the healthiest at the time. I was doing bad things. I was a bad teenager. I needed to get checked really bad. So I went home, and I just went in the house, and I told my mom, I was like, will you come here? I need to talk to you. So she followed me to the bathroom, and I just showed her the test, and I was like, I'm pregnant. And Baptist preacher daddy, remember? Okay. Well, she started pacing around. She was like praying, crying, like asking me what I'm going to do, like going to keep my baby, And then she was like, oh, I'm so proud of you, blah, blah. And she was still crying, ranting around. And it was very stressful. I was not too happy. I didn't want to tell her. And then I was like, but I need to go to my boyfriend's house at the time. I need to go to his house, and that's just where I want to go right now. So she was like, okay, well, you go wait till your daddy gets home for the vehicle to be here, and then I'll take you, and blah, blah. And I was like, please do not tell my dad. And I was literally terrified to tell my dad, because, well, I'm his only girl. I'm his youngest kid out of 5. So I was definitely scared. I mean, I feel like most people would be anyways. But my dad is just, I don't know. I was just always a little scared of my dad in general, like getting in trouble and whatnot. But I shot a big guy, like, so please don't tell my dad, like wait until I'm gone and tell him. And she was like, okay, that's fine. Well, Dad actually ended up pulling up the driveway about time we was talking about it, right? And she ran out that door. She was out that door before he was even in the driveway parked, honey. Out that door telling him exactly what was going on. I was so scared. I did not want to walk out there because, well, she was going on and bringing me to my boyfriend's house at the time. And I was terrified. I didn't even want to walk out the freaking front door. I mean, obviously he was disappointed because, well, they knew that I wasn't with a good guy. They didn't know the extremity of it, which that's a story time for another day. I literally was beat, picked up by my throat, and slammed to the ground while I was 17 weeks pregnant and everything. I'm free. I'm fine. I'm good now. But that is a story time. They didn't know the extremities of it. So it was just a big mess. And he was like, well, y'all both have to grow up now. He gave me a big hug and basically told me it was okay. He was the one who comforted me the most. I'm not even going to lie, which is crazy because that's the person I was scared mostly to tell. So that did feel nice that he was really supportive. That took most of my pressure off, honestly, because I was terrified to tell my dad. And I mean, at least I didn't really particularly have to tell him. Although it didn't happen in the way I asked, it probably happened the best way. I don't think that I could have been able to tell him with a straight, like I don't know if I could have been able to tell him, period. So honestly, it worked out for the best that she got to tell him for me. And then I didn't really have to hide nothing because I ended up getting really sick throughout my pregnancy. So there was no way I could have hid it even if I wanted to try to do that. So I guess everything happened for a reason. And I truly do believe that saying anyhow. But it just shows in so many ways, like so many patterns in my life. It shows that things happen for a reason. But I was so scared to let him know. And then when he comforted me, it did feel really nice. And I was like, okay. So I was ready to go over to my boyfriend's at the time's house. And I went over there to just like hang out with him, process everything with him since he was also going to be going through it with me. And we just sat around and talked about it, talked about what we wanted to do, talked about like how it made us feel. I mean, clearly we was both terrified and scared. I was petrified. I mean, like I said, I was in a really bad relationship and I knew that. But also at the same time, she was definitely my saving grace. And without her, I'd probably be like under a bridge somewhere homeless. I'm not lying. Like I was getting really bad and really wild at way too young of an age. And she came right in when I needed her the most, I'll tell you that. So I went over to his house and he lived with his, he called her Sissy. It's the person who raised him. So basically, I mean, his mom. And we went over there. She was the sweetest woman ever. She has passed away, and I miss her dearly. Like I know that we would probably still talk to this day and check in on each other. She was a great woman. But anyways, we had to find out how we was going to tell, his family and all that. And I believe that one night she was making us these like taco bowl things, and it's made with Doritos. I still eat it to this day because it's genuinely so good. But she was making us those taco bowls, and I remember vividly because, like I said, I started getting really sick and nauseous. I wasn't able to eat much, and people started to catch on to that fairly quickly, you know what I mean? So it was about a few weeks after I had told, my family, and found out maybe about 2-3 weeks afterwards. And I was over at her house, and somehow she had heard through the wind. I don't even know who told her. Maybe he did. But she pulled me to the side one day and she was like, are you pregnant? And I can't lie. I suck at lying. If you know me, you know I suck at lying. So I just didn't even try and lie. I was like, yeah. And she was also very supportive. She's a very nice Christianly lovely woman. So she was really supportive and told us that, she'd be there through no matter what with us. And basically everyone ended up taking it, pretty good. Nobody was particularly happy, but it had already happened. The baby was already in my stomach, like she was already being made and created, and there was nothing we could do about that. And it ended up being the biggest blessing to most of us. She has saved my life for sure, but she also brought the love of my life to me. She changed his life as well. That is her father. Changed his life and how he felt about everything. And same way with me. Family, I feel like get a little bit closer there for a little bit. I don't know. It really did end up being a blessing in disguise. Although it was scary, and I don't think that any teenager needs to go out there and try and get pregnant. Also, if I'm looking over here, it's because I'm doing my makeup, and that's where my mirror is. I forgot to disclose that in the beginning. But anyhow, I don't ever encourage anyone to go out there and get pregnant, but it did save me. Like I said, I was starting to get into really, really bad things, really heavy stuff. And that's a story time for a different time if you would like to hear that. But I was just getting really bad off, and I don't think that I would have either been here much longer, or I would have ended up totally lost down the wrong path. Just what would have happened if I didn't end up pregnant with her. So to me, she was a blessing in disguise. Once I got pregnant with her, there was nothing I felt like I could do. I knew that I wanted to keep her and go through motherhood. So I decided to just go ahead and change my life around completely. And since then, I did end up dropping out of school. I still have not finished school, but that is okay because I'm being a mommy right now to 3 babies. And I like being a stay-at-home mom. That's just really honestly what I like to do. That's my favorite job, and it probably always will be, even when I have an actual job. I just wanted to get on here and make an actual video and get it posted, and I didn't know exactly what to do, so I decided, I was like, well, I might as well just share my pregnant at 17 story. Just kind of open it up out there, let you know my personality a little bit. I became a mom young, and my personality does revolve around that because I am still a young mom. And our friends, they all acted differently. Obviously, most of them was like, you're fucking lying, oh, what the fuck. Some of them was like, congratulations. Some of them was like, I'm so sorry. So, you get different reactions, especially at that age, and our friends and stuff. My friends, they knew what I was going through with him. They was happy about her. They just wasn't happy about the situation, like most people was. And when we posted on Facebook and stuff, everybody, I got messages out the yin yang, let me tell you, honey. People are so nosy because I'm from a small town. If you can't hear my accent, I'm very southern. I'm from West Virginia. I'm in a very, very, very small town in West Virginia. So anything that happens, it just gets spread like wildfire. That's how it is here. That's how it always has been, and that's how it always will be. So when I posted on Facebook, I was getting messages. People was congratulating me, asking if I was okay, blah, blah, blah. I was okay. Obviously, my emotions at first, I was scared. I cried a lot. I worried about if I could be able to do it. I was scared on how I was going to provide for her, because obviously I was 17. I was still in high school at the time. No income coming in, not my own income. So I was very scared and stressed out. And there was a lot of times and a lot of nights that I spent in my bed alone just crying and asking God what I could do and if I could even do it, because I didn't feel strong enough to be able to do it. And I honestly didn't find my courage until I decided to walk away from that bad relationship. That made me feel strong. That made me feel like, I can be a mom because I'm doing something that's really hard on my emotional health, but really good for my baby. And I could have always stayed and put up with it, but I really didn't want to, because I didn't want my kids to end up having trauma like I had. I just didn't want her to see the things that I knew that she would have ended up seeing if I did stay. And it is a good thing that I left, because he only got worse. And that's how it always works. So if there's any teenage girls out there right now that is in an abusive relationship of any type, if you feel like you need to reach out to somebody, reach out to me. But please try and find the courage within your heart to leave, because it only ends one way most of the time, and that ends up your family at your funeral by your casket saying goodbye. It don't ever end up good, or you're in the hospital, or you just end up with trauma of some sort. It never ends good, baby. And you need to get away if you're in a relationship like that. I've been there. I have, at a young age as well. And it's not easy, but it is possible. And if I wouldn't have left, I would literally be stuck in a little crack trailer with nothing. Crappy cars. Not that it even really matters, but I'm just saying, like, compared to what I have, like, if I would have stayed in that situation, I wouldn't be where I'm at today, and I wouldn't have flourished in the way I have flourished, and I wouldn't have the things that I have now, because I would have never allowed myself to get out of that comfort zone and grow. I know that's what it is mainly for us. We're comfortable with who we're with, and hey, I get it. Like I said, been there, done that. But leaving is so much better. Okay, so this is the finished look. But everything honestly ended up working out for the best. And no, I'm not encouraging teen pregnancy. I just think that we should support teen parents. Do not encourage it. But if it happens, they do need support, and it means so much in the community when you have that support. I'm telling you, it does. But I hope you all have a lovely day, and I hope this video was okay. I have plenty of more story times I can share with you, and I love makeup and getting ready. So just let me know down below if you want a story time of how I was abused, of my car wreck that I got away from and fled from. I have a bunch of stuff I could tell you from my crazy days. Even recent days, like, I'm still crazy a little bit, okay? I can razzle dazzle it in there, okay? But anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Bye. Mwah.